Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412, and today we're going to be looking at this early slate on DraftKings, 5-game slate. But we do have some weather that we do have to be paying attention to. It looks like this Atlanta-Washington game is pretty ugly, and the Cincinnati-Philadelphia game might have some rain showers as well, causing a delay. But things can change. Obviously, we're still quite a ways away from lock, so just keep up to the minute with that. Yeah, be careful. So we could just dive right in here. It's pretty disgusting on the pitching front, especially when you take into account also all the rain concerns. It's not looking too great, but we'll go on anyway. So Chris Sale, right up at the top, he's returning from the 60-day IL. Not sure how deep he's going to go. I never really like taking starting pitchers in their first game back after returning from a long injury. He did have, it says he went over 80 pitches in his rehab starts. I'm not sure I'm convinced that the Red Sox are going to let him go over 80 pitches in this game here. But, he's still somebody that you have to be paying attention to, given everybody else on this slate. You have Castillo in a possible rain concern game. You have Fried in a major rain concern game. Corbin, and next thing you know, you got Sam Henches as your next guy. You got to be paying attention to Sale, because even in 60 pitches, he might outscore some of these other guys. Granted, these middle three guys are rained out or something. So Chris Sale, I'm not too thrilled about him, but still, it's something that you have to be paying attention to. Castillo, going up against Philadelphia, he had a rough start last time out. However, before that, he was pitching very well. The best he's pitched all season long. So at 9,300, I do like his price here. Philadelphia has been swinging the bat a little bit better lately. But still, I think Castillo, his strikeout rate has blown up in a good way, gone through the roof in the past couple of weeks here. So I do like Castillo. He's in nice form, albeit that last start out against Cleveland, but I do like his spot here, especially given everybody else. Fried would probably be my favorite pitcher on the slate if it wasn't for the rain. And again, I'm going to keep harking on the rain, but this game is looking quite concerning. But still, Fried compared to the rest of the pitchers on this slate, Sale not included because he doesn't have any data this season, but he is he has the lowest Sierra, he has the highest strikeout rate, the second lowest walk rate, the second highest swinging strike rate. So he's got all the stats just gravitate towards him. And at 8,700, he's probably going to be one of the core plays here for us. But again, the rain, please pay attention to it. Corbin, I admit I've been wrong on Corbin, every single preview video. When I say he's going to be trash, he has one of his 20, 30-point games. When I say, maybe he's turned a corner, he comes back and he throws out a -2 game. So I can't figure this guy out. I've been wrong all season. I fully admit it. But look at his form post All-Star break. It has not been well. It's not been good. 4 or more earned runs in every single start since the All-Star break. Multiple home runs, a bunch of them. Now he's going up against a tough Atlanta offense. So I'm going to be off Corbin here. Sam Henches, I'm off Henches as well. This middle tier is pretty not thrilling. Going up against Detroit, left-handed pitcher, going up against a really all-righty lineup in Detroit. So I don't have any interest there, just because the Henches splits between lefties and righty bats are actually pretty large. So he's just got a lot of things going against him. So I'm off Henches here. But again, I feel like this slate is just kind of like a plug and pray. Plug your pitchers in, maybe close your eyes, scroll up and down, click, and just kind of hope, because really there's nobody that's too thrilling. And in a safe weather spot. Matt Moore going up against Cincinnati. I never really like taking anybody against Cincinnati. You can kind of see he's in terrible form. He did have a little bullpen stint here, and that didn't go too well either. But he's going back to the starting role. It's tough to get excited about a pitcher below average pitcher going up against a Cincinnati offense. So kind of off him. Davies, he's kind of like the opposite of Fried on this slate. How Fried was kind of like the best among all the pitchers and all those stats. Davies is like the worst. He has the highest Sierra among these pitchers. He has the second lowest K rate, the highest walk rate, the second lowest swinging strike rate. And his past 2 starts have been anything but stellar, negative points in both of them. So he's been really struggling. We saw Miami, their offense, they went off last night. They have the ability to score runs. It is pitcher's park, so he has that bump up for him, but I don't think it's going to be enough in this game. Thompson, on the other side of this game, I do have some interest in Thompson. He's probably I probably have the most interest in him among all the pitchers down in this range. Pitcher's park, and going up against this Chicago lineup. I mean, the Chicago lineup strikes out a lot. After losing all those guys, we can kind of see they're just kind of in a tailspin. They can't win any games, it seems. I think the lineup that they put out last night, their team strikeout rate was like 31 or 32%. It was absurd. So, the strikeouts can definitely be there. If he's able to control his walks, keep it down, I do think he's probably my favorite pitcher down in this range. Peralta, he's faced Cleveland twice so far this season. He's done well in both of them. I mean, compared to his salary, he's done well, 11 points and 23 points. So he's not, I don't want to say he's a gas can or anything. Like, he's not terrible. He even held Boston. He got 10 points. So 5.7K, he's not going to burn your lineup or anything, even if he has a poor performance. But if he can even get you just 10, 15 points, awesome. We know Cleveland, they can struggle at times. They do have some offensive skill ability though, but they can struggle. So Peralta, he's not a terrible play. He's not a complete, absolute 100% fade. Lopez though, he is. I'm not interested in Lopez going up against Boston. So let's look to the bats. As you can see, I'm not really interested in pitcher really at all. Let's just say there's no rain concern at all. Fried's probably my top option. I would go with Fried. Castillo's nice. Sale. And then Thompson. It's really those 4. Everybody else, I'm kind of off. Maybe Peralta and like a deep GPP, but that's kind of it. Everybody else, I just don't have any interest in. Top bats of the day, it's going to be Boston again. We had some fun in FSI last night. We had a couple sweats going on at the same time because for our GPP, we scored the bottom of the order in Boston. So we had like Renfroe and Plawecki and Duran and Dahlbeck. And so we kind of faded top guys, and we paired him with Tampa Bay, who had a double-digit run game last night. So we had some sweats going on. Nobody had the takedown, but it was still a fun night here at FSI. But Boston, they're going to be chalk stack again. I think their implied run total is again close to 7, which is just crazy for outside of Coors. But bad pitcher for Baltimore, bad bullpen in Baltimore. They should be able to do some work here. I mean, guys like Renfroe, just way too cheap, and he's been hitting the ball very well lately. So Renfroe, Verdugo, he's back. He came back last night. 3.5K, Plawecki, Dahlbeck. There's a lot of value here. So again, what we did last night in GPP was, so real quick, double ups last night for Boston. Their ownership was like 50 to 60% owned on a 14 game slate. That's just insane. That was the top of the order, 1 through 4. We were getting their 5 through 9 guys in GPPs, some of them at single digit ownership. Plawecki was at 9%. Dahlbeck was at like 6 or 7%. So, just an easy shift. You don't have to completely fade Boston in GPPs. Just a shift to the bottom of the order can really open things up for you. So Boston, clearly number 1 stack of the day for us. Atlanta, going up against Corbin. I said I've been wrong about Corbin all the time, but Corbin has really been struggling in his 5 starts since the All-Star break. He's been letting up a lot of home runs, and the pricing has come down quite a bit for Atlanta. So I'm definitely interested in them a whole lot more. Riley, Albies, it's your usual. Swanson, Soler, your typical guys for Atlanta. I have a lot of interest in them. Cincinnati, obviously, going up against Matt Moore. Really, anybody going up against Matt Moore, I have interest. Detroit, probably be my next one. Going up against Henches. I mentioned how Detroit, you can have an already lineup going up against this lefty pitcher. And Henches has some serious splits. He's terrible against right-handed bats. So I have a lot of interest here. Cabrera at 3.1K. We've mentioned how he's been, outperforming his salary in the past couple of videos, and he's been doing pretty well. Just kind of stinks how, Cabrera. Oh, hey, they finally added in Scoop to second base eligibility. Good job, DK. So we can finally have a Detroit stack that we kind of like. So I definitely have a lot of interest in Detroit. You can kind of see they're pretty cheap here. So you can pair them in with like the top of the Boston bats without any issue. You're not going to have any salary issue here on this slate. And after Detroit, Miami would probably be my next team that I would be targeting, going up against Davies. Yeah, not much to say here. Just that they're cheap. They're going up against bad pitcher. It is a pitcher's ballpark, but Miami put up how many runs last night? It was a lot. I think they were at 13 in like the second inning. So those are kind of be my top 5. Boston number 1, Atlanta number 2, Cincy number 3. Cincy may be tied with Detroit at number 3, and then Miami number 4. Cleveland, they got some real cheap bats. Peralta is not an ace or anything, but outside of Ramirez and Reyes, they got a lot of cheap options down in here who can really open up the salary for you. But again, I don't think salary is going to be an issue. So that kind of covers it. It's just going to be a gross slate. Check the weather. It's a 5-game slate. It could go down to 4. Who knows, maybe even 3 at this point. And it really is impacting some of the best pitchers on the slate. On an already limited pitching slate. So good luck on your contest. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us out in providing all this free content for you. And we're going to have another preview video out for the main slate. Mega Ruler is going to be covering that one. So go ahead, support him as well, and check that one out. So as always, good luck in your contest, and we'll see you in the next video.